Taoiseach, I welcome the fact that there has been much more active engagement at heads of government and at ministerial level between the Irish and British governments, and that needs to be continued. You will recall that when the British-Irish Parliamentary Assembly met in your own constituency in Wicklow, that both British members and members of the Irish delegation, as well as myself, spoke about the need to intensify engagements at bilateral level, both at political and at public service level, and also in our parliamentary relations across these islands between the different jurisdictions. And I'm glad that there is progress in that respect, and that needs to be continued. Taoiseach, you referred there to the Legacy Act. On many occasions in this House, both with your predecessor, Deputy Varadkar, and with the Taoiseach as well, I have raised the need to have that legislation replaced. It's a deplorable piece of legislation that was given murderers the right to declare amnesty for themselves and to absolve themselves of the most heinous of crimes. That's not acceptable, whether they were people from the British State Forces or from paramilitary organisations who carried out those horrific and heinous acts. No way could that legislation be enacted. And my understanding is that the Labour Party in their manifesto promised to repeal and replace the Act. Now, I heard some commentary from people in Northern Ireland who are quite concerned that the Secretary of State has not indicated a complete repeal of the Act. He's talked about repealing parts of the Act. So, Taoiseach, government, as you know well, needs to be very, very vigilant and diligent on this particular issue. On many occasions, Cathaoirleach, as you know, in this House, I have raised the lack of cooperation with the British government in relation to the investigation into the Dublin Monaghan bombings, the day where there was the most serious loss of life on this island during the Troubles. And also, we need full cooperation in regard to the investigation into the Belturbet bombing of the 28th of December 1972, when 2 young teenagers were attacked. And we all know that that act was perpetrated by the UVF, but nobody has been brought to justice. Those inquiries must be given more momentum, Taoiseach. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
To Deputy Smith. Look, firstly, thank you for the work you and colleagues do on the British-Irish Parliamentary Association. I think it takes on a renewed importance in this time of a reset of Anglo-Irish relations, and I do hope there can be an intensity of the engagement that you wish for, and certainly anything I can do to assist with that. Look, on the Legacy Act, I very much welcome the fact that we have, and to Deputy Conway Walsh too, I very much welcome the fact that we now have a British government that is committed to repealing and replacing the Legacy Act. That's really important. However, we have to also be very honest. So far, that has not happened yet. So we have that commitment. That is welcome. We want to engage on it, but it has not yet happened. I would like to see progress, and I'd like to see action soon, especially in relation to that kind of important engagement that I do think needs to take place, because that's what didn't happen in the past. And we have to learn from the mistakes that was made by previous British governments in relation to railroading through a piece of legislation that nobody wanted in terms of any political party in Northern Ireland, and this government certainly didn't want it either. I don't think anyone in this House did too. So in the meantime, we'll continue to engage with the British government to explore whether and how we can develop an agreed approach. And I would like to get to a point, to Deputy Conway Walsh's point, I would like to get to a point where, through a process of meaningful joint work between our governments, we no longer need to take that interstate case. But I also take the point we're not at that point yet. We don't want to, no one wants to find ourselves in an interstate case with Britain. That's not where we want to be. But we do need to see progress, and there's an important sequencing in relation to that, and I hope you're meeting with the Secretary of State, who I believe to be a good person and engaging in good faith. I hope that's a productive meeting as well. On the issue of, and look, on the issue of Belturbet bombing as well, Deputy Smith, I agree with you on the importance of that. This is one of the many reasons why we really do need to make progress on legacy.